at a time by Sparrow, and the circus is on.
What's up? It's Tyler Knight, you Twin Ties Life. I'm about to be reacting to
Lane back to Wilkins. Sitting jab, and he gets to it. He's fouled by Hayes.
Good pass that time by Sparrow, and the circus is on.
What's up? It's Tyler Knight, you Twin Ties Life. I'm about to be reacting to Larry Bird and Michael Jordan. What's up, Twitch? What's up, YouTube? Let's get into it. I'm about to be reacting to Larry Bird's insane promise, the most disrespecting promise ever. Also, I'm going to react to the game he became the Michael Jordan we know. Let's get into it. Like, comment, subscribe. If you're on YouTube watching the archive, give me a follow on Twitch. Let's get into it. I'm going to react to Larry Bird first. Let's go.
Fix your joints. Tai Chi builds them back. After 50.
Hey guys, this video is brought to you by Banneker Watches. If you like classy, stylish, and unique watches with a little bit of history to it, Banneker Watches is perfect for you. They even have the Hey folks, how's it going? I'm Sean David. Welcome back to the show. Let's talk some old school basketball. Now, with the Last Dance documentary dominating NBA world, I want to make sure that my second favorite player of all time doesn't get forgotten. Now, with Michael Jordan being my number one, Larry Bird being my number two. So in this video, I want to cover a Larry Bird story, or let's say my favorite insane Larry Bird story. But before we start with this video, a quick shot.
Show me how to make thunder.
Critics are raving about Avatar Fire and Ash, the number.
To my Patreons, thanks a lot, you guys, for supporting the show. It's really appreciated. And I would say, let's dig right into it. In the mid-1980s, you had some of the most iconic players in NBA history, if it was a Magic Johnson, a Dr. J, or a Michael Jordan. But even until today, everybody wants to know more about Larry Bird. The guy that can't jump, was super slow, but some way, somehow was still able to give you 30 points a night. It's kind of funny. In the last couple of months, I spoke to many NBA legends of that era, and they all basically said the same thing. Slow and can't jump? I gotta be talking about somebody else but Larry Bird. Now, since the game today is a completely different game in comparison to the 80s and 90s, players like Larry Bird are mysterious. Hearing all those crazy trash talk stories, and then seeing that this guy was actually able to back it up, is just crazy. I mean, the things that Larry used to do are so bold and funny, and just to think that Larry used to trash talk the biggest names in the games, it's just incredible. For example, when Magic Johnson and Larry Bird became friends and the Lakers and the Celtics were playing against each other, there was that one game where Magic had to sit out and watch the game from the bench. And what did Larry Bird do? He walks to Magic and says, "Man, I'm sorry you're not playing, but I'm gonna tell you what, since you're already here, I'm gonna put on a show for you." And what can you say? Larry kept his promise and had a great night, and after every bucket, he looked over to Magic. Or who can forget the game of the Boston Celtics versus the Atlanta Hawks, which to me is the second best Larry Bird trash talk story.
But when you played against somebody, Do you remember? Well, you had the Bird night.
I had the
in
Bird
New
night.
Orleans.
Yeah, that was a tough night. But when a guy is literally coming up the court, calling his shots, and Bird talked a lot of trash.
And that's in New Orleans.
Crazy.
That's in New Orleans. In that game, we're on the free throw line, and he literally says, left side over across the three, and you're listening to him. That's a tough feeling.
I think Bird went by the bench one time too.
He fell in the bench.
Yo, oh yeah, he said he fell into the bench. That's what he was about to say. But because I think I've seen that clip before. But that's the most disrespectful thing to do. And then he tells you he's gonna do that, so you're trying to prepare for that. You try to anticipate that. You try to beat him to the spot. Yo, it's not gonna work on Larry Bird. He's gonna get his way, and he's gonna shoot over you. The fact that he's able to do that to NBA players, these are the best players in the world. Let's not forget. These are the best players in the world. Back then, if you would have had the best NBA players play against Europeans, they're washing them. Nowadays, it's equaling out a little bit. USA's still winning, but y'all saw the Olympics when they played against France. It was they almost beat them. So it's but back then it wasn't that close. They had a couple of players that are European that would give USA the work, but they just wouldn't win. But it's USA, crazy. But it's you have the best players in the world. You could see in comparison when they go to the Olympics back then, they would wash them. The Dream Team, they would have washed the players. You know what I'm saying? So Larry Bird's playing against these type of players. These type of players, the best players in the world. And he's telling them he's gonna do something. And he's doing it. It's nothing. He's playing against kids. He's predicting that, I'm gonna score on you. And you can't do anything about it. You have to be very good at the game of basketball, and probably one of the greatest to ever touch a basketball if you're doing this to the best players in the world. It's not even anything to play with. He's that confident that he's way better than these guys. He's on a different pedestal. It's crazy. These are the best players in the world. He's embarrassing them. Wow. Larry Bird's different, man.
Yeah, and he called that one. That was the one where he fell in it. He literally said, off the glass into the trainer. And, yeah, and so it was a bad night.
Bird, 14 seconds, he got fouled. He hit the shot. They're not going to count it. And Bird falls into Joe O'Toole.
Well, it's kind of hard to top a story like that, and I can definitely understand that this is one of the favorite stories of many Larry Bird fans. But to me, I got a different one. In the playoffs of the 1985 season, the Boston Celtics again would face the Los Angeles Lakers in the finals. The Lakers, with the help of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Magic Johnson, defeated the Celtics 4-2 to defeat the Celtics for the first time in Lakers finals history. Boston could not believe it since they felt they had the better team. For the 1985-86 season, the Celtics made some major changes to their roster and would have one of the best passing teams of all time.
Well, it makes it easy. Anytime you can work out of the post and you can go and set flare screens and down screens for other players and then keep the ball moving. It keeps the defense off balance and it makes them work hard on the defense.
Has 18 points. Oh, what a nice pass by Walton to Bird.
I would feel like Larry and Bill were probably two of the best passing big men in the history of basketball.
That Celtics team was so good that many of their games were already decided even before the fourth quarter started. The problem with that was that players with the competitive edge and drive of a Larry Bird sometimes would get bored and mentally check out of the game. One of those nights was the 6th of December in 1985 when the Boston Celtics played against the Portland Trail Blazers.
Okay, I'm going to say one more thing. Yo, the stuff that Larry Bird would do in 3 quarters is insane. I've never seen somebody do that much in 3 quarters. Once it got to the 4th quarter, he's sitting out. Bro, tell me how I think he had a 60-point triple-double? 50-point triple-double, something like that? Was it a 50-point triple double? Something like that. He had a triple double. Almost a quadruple double. Almost a quadruple double in 3 quarters. In 3 quarters. That's what he was doing. He was dropping like 40, 50 points. Shoot. I don't know. I can't remember, but he might have dropped closer to 60 or maybe 50. I can't remember. There was a game. He dropped a huge amount of points in 3 quarters. If you guys remember what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you know what? Let me search it up right now, actually. Let me search it up right now. Let me ask ChatGPT. What's the most points Larry Bird dropped in 3 quarters? $52. Oh my gosh. Like I was just saying, 52. It wasn't 60. It was 52 points in 3 quarters. The stuff he would do in 3 quarters was insane. Like once the fourth quarter rolls around, like the game is over, Larry Bird's sitting on the bench and their bench players are on the court. The game's over. It doesn't matter anymore because the man already had 50-some points and he's probably blowing out the team. The stuff he used to do in 3 quarters is insane. I've never seen anything like it before. I've never seen anything like it before. He just gets to it. He doesn't wait until the fourth quarter to go off. He goes off first 3 quarters. 52 points? Almost a quadruple double in three quarters? How? He's insane. That's Larry Bird. Larry Joe Bird, man. Larry Legend.
At that time, the Blazers were not yet the powerhouse that they would later become, since Clyde Drexler was still relatively young. That night, Larry Bird had an off night and only shot 34% from the field. What many people of the media overlooked was that Larry still had 11 rebounds and 7 assists, but still the Celtics lost by 18. Both teams would meet again on the 14th of February in 1986 after a long road trip for the Boston Celtics. Larry was reminded by the press and media that he had a bad game against the Blazers. Bill Walton recalls, Larry told us all, and the media even, tomorrow night's the last night of the trip, and I'm going to play the game left-handed. This was crazy, even for Larry Bird. The Blazers obviously also read the newspapers and decided to put the very athletic Jerome Kersey on Bird to make sure that Bird's promise will be an empty one.
Thoughts on tonight's matchup? Another lineup change by the coach.
Doesn't matter who he played in front of him. He's going to get those buckets
in the left hand. He feels that Jerome Kersey is going to give him some aggressiveness, particularly against Larry Bird.
Now it was on. The game started, and Larry Bird did what Larry Bird does.
Larry told all of us and the media, he said, tomorrow night's the last game of the trip. I'm going to play this one left-handed.
So when you look at the matchups, you'll see Kiki Vandeweghe handling Scott Wedman. Of course, Sam Bowie will handle Robert Carey. And the assignment for Jerome Kersey is to be able to handle a hot-shooting Larry Bird.
Larry
Bird.
10-6. Bird against Kersey.
Yeah, he was going off, man. Just left hand the whole game.
Bird is open. Larry Bird over Kersey. Doesn't matter where he is.
Rebound Ainge. Well,
Ainge with the full court pass. He made sure he left to his left. He made sure.
Coming down to the 3-minute mark. Second quarter. Wedman for Parrish against Bowie. Too far, Bird's there. 47-46.
Every bucket with his left.
16 points for Larry Bird. Parrish, 5 Celtics off there. That's Johnson and Bird. Tied again. Sheaston for Larry Bird.
He's sick.
Left hand, right
Yo.
hand, both hands.
He could have went for that mid range, but he did a pump fake and went into driving the basketball. Usually he would just shoot it, but he just passed up an open mid range and found his way to the key, open actually, and got a left handed layup. He was just spamming that left-handed layup the whole time. It was all layups, but he was getting to it. They couldn't stop him. And yeah, that's still very impressive because he had like 27 points off of just left-handed buckets, and he had like 40-something points altogether. Yeah, the game was close though, but he ended up going back to his right hand when he had to finish off the game. But yeah, throughout the whole game, they couldn't stop him when he was finishing with his left. He was doing floaters, all of that. Crazy. Hook shots.
For Bird.
Yeah. Yeah. Very tough.
90. Bird with 37.
Each one time, everything has come from the outside, so you really don't take advantage of your advantage.
And they got 3 fouls real quick, penetrated. Bird.
Yeah, that was the filthiest bucket out of all of the buckets he had the whole game. That was filthy. Off the and one, he lost the ball kinda, or like he had to reposition the ball in his hands, and then he's like did the kind of like a and one hook shot. Like that was crazy.
Hook's good.
Yeah.
Foul. Shot clock's at 8. Clyde. No whistle. Rebound Bird. They're trying to tie. 10 seconds. You see the time. Larry Bird. Ties it. Blazers want time, they call it. 6 seconds to win this thing.
The game went into overtime, and Larry Bird now started to use his right hand more often. Up until that point, he already scored more than 20 points with his left hand.
Johnson for Bird.
Now that is
Right into the pocket.
You can't give Bird. You can't give
Foul.
Bird wide open.
Tight on Larry Bird away from the ball. Dennis Johnson, 10 seconds the clock. You watch it count down. Blazers up by a point.
Now Bird can't beat you right there. You got to keep him under control.
Hmm.
They don't.
And the Blazers have timeout with 3 seconds remaining as Bird goes to 47 points.
This shot would also be the game winner. Bird scored 10 out of his 21 field goals against the Portland Trail Blazers with his left hand and finished the game with 47 points, 14 rebounds, and 11 assists. The Celtics won that game 120-119 in overtime. Bird was later asked why he used his left hand so much, and he answered, he wanted to save his right hand for the Lakers. It doesn't get any cooler than that. All right, you guys, that's it for today's episode. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also like the video because I just found out apparently that also helps. Also, if you want to hear more podcasts with me and former NBA legends like Tim Hardaway, Dennis Rodman, Dominique Wilkins, Alonzo Mourning, and so on, please check out the Basketball Time Machine podcast on iTunes and on Spotify.
When I started Walton Goggins Goggle Glass.
All right, that's it for the video, man. Yeah, we're about to get into some Michael Jordan. Yeah, but for Larry Bird, like I was talking about before, he was insane, bro. The fact that he even can switch to his left, and drop like 27 points with his left, have a triple-double, and lead his team to the win after scoring with his left most of the game. Crazy. He could tell you what he's gonna do and do it to you. And he's playing against the best players in the world. Insane. Yeah, we're about to get into Michael Jordan. The game he became the Michael Jordan we know. Let's get into it. This sounds interesting, to be honest, because I don't know what game that was, because the man averaged 28 points in his rookie season. It might have been the first game, so let's get into it.
I felt like I earned my stripes in the third game. Milwaukee's
third
always
game.
been a nemesis for Chicago.
Every time we played them, they beat us. They had Sidney Moncrief, who was the reigning defensive player of the year.
Yeah, he was
had a
tough.
tremendous defensive team.
I kind of thought I knew his potential because I had played against the best players in the NBA so far, the Magics and the Birds and the Dr. J and Kareem. And all of a sudden, this rookie comes into the NBA. I watched the way he moved on the court and his instincts. I'm like, wow, that's going to be scary.
When Michael Jordan was entering the NBA, just about everyone knew that he was going to be special. But as far as I can tell, only one man knew just how special, which is when the legendary head coach Bobby Knight said that Michael Jordan was the greatest player he had ever seen before he had even played his first game in the NBA. Obviously, not everyone was on board with that initial proclamation. Otherwise, MJ wouldn't have been taken third overall in the 1984 NBA draft. But still, that is a high selection relatively to most prospects, and people in Chicago believed they had plenty of reason to be optimistic. They witnessed him excel as a North Carolina Tar Heel. They saw him tear it up in the Olympic Games, and they even got to watch him play very well in the preseason.
He's
But
going
even
crazy.
with that being said, there was still a general hesitancy from the fans to embrace him as a future all-time great, until they saw him have an epic performance in official NBA competition. In his regular season debut, MJ had a solid all-around game, but he was also quite inefficient, as he struggled to find the touch. In the contest, he had 16 points on 16 shots, but he also had 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and 4 blocks. In his second game, he was solid, but pretty tame by his standards, as he scored 21 points, had 5 rebounds, and 5 assists, while making 8 of his 13 shots.
Yo, you know the numbers that LeBron is putting up right now, right? Like his whole career, where he had like a bunch of triple doubles, all that. Michael Jordan had a good amount of triple doubles, but if he was taking that route where he was going with the like overall type of like stat line, if he was going for that, he could. I feel like he could have got a bunch of triple doubles. If he wanted to average a triple double, I feel like he could have. But he went the other route of just being super aggressive, getting to the basket, taking a lot of shots. He might seem inefficient at times, but he's still going to score the basketball and get the win. And it worked. I mean, he got 6 championships as the leader of the Bulls. Two back-to-back, 2 3-peats. So like Michael Jordan could have did that. He could have definitely had a stat line every single game that was probably close to a triple double or a triple double. He could facilitate. I think that's one thing he's most like overlooked for, even though he's the GOAT, was his facilitating. He could really pass the ball if he wanted to, because I feel like he created opportunities for other people. People are jumping at him, trying to block him, trying to foul him. And he knows that's going to happen, so he uses it to his advantage, and he dumps it off to whoever's in the key. He does that a lot, but just because he scores a lot and he might not pass as much as people think he should, they're gonna overlook that he has 6 assists, and he averaged 6 assists his whole career, which is pretty high. He's a shooting guard. He's not a point guard, so he shoots the ball. He's a shot first player. He's not a pass first player. So the fact that he's able to average 6 assists his whole career, is crazy. Honestly, for someone that doesn't pass the ball. If you watch him, like, he could pass. He'd be setting people up. So yeah, that's my take. That's my take on Michael Jordan. And the stat line I'm seeing right there. Like, even early on, you could see it was evenly, like, with 21, 5 and 5 is solid. Coming up as a rookie. So yeah. And he was playing with guys that weren't that good. Like, he didn't have all-stars on his team, but he was still finding a way to open up opportunities for them to score.
At this point, the organization and the Chicago faithful knew they had a pretty quality player on their hands. But let's be real, neither of these first 2 games were the kind of performance that make you immediately jump to the conclusion that you may have drafted one of the greatest players ever. And then the 3rd game of the regular season happened. It came on October 29th, 1984, in a home matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, this Bucks team were no slouches. The season prior, they had the best defense in the entire league in terms of points allowed. They had won 50 games, and they made it all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, before being eliminated by the eventual champion Boston Celtics. This season, they came back even stronger as they were led by their trio of stars in Terry Cummings, Paul Pressey, and Sidney Moncrief. In the case of Moncrief, he was the league's reigning back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year winner. And tonight, he had the assignment of guarding the rookie, Michael Jordan. Now you need to understand, although Michael was already beloved by the fans in the Windy City, he was still finding his way. Many people at the time were still calling him Mike Jordan instead of Michael Jordan, and even his nicknames took some time to take shape, as he was often being referred to as Captain Marvel.
Jones tipped it out to Jordan, down the lane, all the way. Basket, he put it in. That's it. He turns it on, and he becomes Captain Marvel. Slides down the lane.
Captain Marvel.
Around, banks it in. Here's Jordan down the middle, all the way. And Captain Marvel comes back again. Up, 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 and away.
This was a title that MJ really wasn't a fan of. But after this game, the fans and commentators would be willing to call Michael basically whatever he wanted. Early into the contest, Jordan's skills were on display, as he showed off his fantastic footwork and his mid-range artistry. He even showcased some of his tremendous finishing abilities around the rim. With that being said, he was playing within the flow of the offense, and nothing particularly explosive had taken place. The overwhelming talent of Milwaukee enabled the Bucks to get an early lead, and they would hold it through the vast majority of the game. Only moments into the fourth quarter, and the Bucks held a significant lead, 89-80. This was the moment where Michael Jordan would show just how special he really was. That beyond all of the crazy athleticism and dazzling plays, there was something more. There was a competitive fire, the heart of a champion, and a clutch gene capable of birthing a dynasty. Jordan proceeded to absolutely erupt as the crowd grew louder and louder with each clutch basket. The elite Milwaukee defense looked as though they were a junior varsity team trying to compete with a pro, as they had no answer whatsoever for this third game rookie. He hit a series of driving layups and difficult jumpers. And then, late in the game, in a one-possession deficit, Jordan would hit an incredible shot through a triple team. And based on the reaction of the commentators and the crowd, you could tell that this was the moment where everyone began to realize the level of greatness that they were witnessing.
The Bulls have it. They can still tie it. There's Moncrief, or Jordan driving.
Jordan was going crazy.
This should be one of the most iconic plays of Michael Jordan's entire
I
career.
won.
Because this was arguably the first moment where Jordan set Chicago ablaze with excitement and wonder. This was the instant where he started to change the perception of an onlooking city. From tempering their expectations of a young man barely old enough to drink, to seeing him as a leader who could take their lowly organization to the promised land and deliver them a title. MJ wasn't even done. He continued to pour in baskets, and in that fourth quarter alone, he had 3 momentum-seizing and 1 plays. And on the final basket, he beautifully weaved through all 5 defenders on his way to score, capped off with his signature fist pump. He led his Bulls to victory over the heavily favored Bucks 116-110.
He's crazy.
And incredibly, he scored 22 of his 37 points in the fourth quarter alone. Scoring
22 in the fourth quarter on Sidney Moncrief? That's different. That's very different because Sidney Moncrief, as you know, as he's talked about, was the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. I think he went back to back. And the fact that he can drop 37 on him, like imagine a rookie coming into the league and dropping like 37 on Kawhi. I know Kawhi's been out, like, you know what I'm saying, but Kawhi in his prime, when Kawhi was actually playing, even now for him to do that, but when Kawhi was actually playing, getting Defensive Player of the Year or first team defense, imagine a rookie coming in and dropping 37 and having 22 in the fourth quarter. It's crazy. Like it's nonsense. But that's Michael. His third game. Him dropping 37 in his third game, I know that widens some eyes and it's like, okay, yeah, this guy could be the next thing. And what I was gonna say before, the narrative of Michael Jordan, like he won a championship in NCAA, but there was also Len Bias. As you know, Len Bias tragically died a day after the draft. So like he was the Len Bias was the main guy, right? So it's like Jordan was known, but he was kind of in Len Bias's shadow, kind of coming up. And then him being gone, it's like, okay, who's the next thing? Jordan showed that in his third game and then finished off with 28 a game for the rest of the season. So yeah, I feel like this is definitely I think this is definitely when people started to know, people started to take notice, like he's the next thing. 37 in his third game, 22 in the fourth quarter against Sidney Moncrief. Yeah, you know he's next level because Sidney Moncrief is a legend and known for his defense. And the fact that he's able to do that to Milwaukee Bucks like that, it's not normal. It's definitely not normal. So yeah, third game, Michael Jordan confirmed it, and he's backing it, and the guy is backing it up with some evidence right now. And yeah, it's a good video so far. So.
22 points in a game as a rookie is an amazing feat, but doing it in only the fourth quarter of your third game against one of the best teams in the league is basically unheard of.
Unheard of.
After this victory, the organization knew everything they needed to know about this young kid that they called Mike Jordan. If you ask me, this was the day that the GOAT truly arrived on the NBA scene. So now it's your turn. When do you think was the moment when people began to understand just how special Michael Jordan was going to be? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
All right, that's it for the video. That's it for the stream. Yeah, Michael Jordan, man. My take on that and my answer, yeah, it's definitely his third game. It's definitely his third game because the fact that he dropped 37 in the whole game, he had 22 in the last fourth quarter, in the last like 12 minutes. Yeah, that's crazy. He only had 15 the whole game, going into the fourth, and then just went off. Had 3 and 1s. That's insane. He was going crazy. But yeah, I think I would say his third game. Let me know what you guys think, because I know there's older viewers watching this that was actually around during this time. Let me know when Michael Jordan put you on notice. Could have been North Carolina when he was in college. It could have been his first game. It could have been when he was on the USA team. Let me know. But I really feel like when like actual NBA fans was like tuned in and actually knew for sure he's coming up, like he's the next thing, I think it was his third game. That's when he put people on notice. And obviously after his rookie season when he averaged 28, that solidified it for sure, because it's like he went through a whole season. It's not like just one game. He went through a whole season with averaging 28. So yeah, but that was good. 2 videos, Larry Bird and Michael Jordan. I'm gonna sign out. I'm gonna say a prayer. Name Jesus, I pray whoever's watching this video, bless them from the crown of heads to the soles of their feet, allow them to be strong in their mind, body, and soul. Whatever's going through their mind, and is anything that's going through their mind that's negative, I pray that you rebuke it in the name of Jesus. You clear all negative thoughts and fill it with and replace it with positive thoughts of God, a pure mind, a sound mind. And yeah, I pray that they'll surround themselves with people that are following God as iron sharpens iron. They will feed their minds and feed their eyes the right things as what you see and what you hear from people, what you go through and like what you experience with people. It really impacts you. It really influences you with the people that are around you. So I pray whatever we digest in any way, like what you hear, what you do, and what other people do around you, I pray that it's for God and it's for whatever God's purpose is for everybody in the world and anybody that's following God and anyone that's Christ-like. So Jesus' name I pray, allow everybody to be Christ-like, and bless them from the crown of their heads to the soles of their feet, as their bodies is temples. So in Jesus' name I pray, amen. So stay blessed, stay lit, and I'm out.